Namaskar and welcome to Pradipta's Musings. I am Pradipta Chaudhuri, an initiated lay devotee of Ramakrishna Math and Mission, initiated into the order by most revered 16th President of Ramakrishna Math and Mission, Srimat Swami Smaranananda ji Maharaj. Today I am reading out an article from the Spiritual English Monthly of the Ramakrishna Order, the Vedanta Kesari. This is May 2024 edition of the Vedanta Kesari. And the article which I am reading out is titled Srimat Swami Smaranananda ji Maharaj's Beloved Mayavati. This article has been contributed by Swami Madhurananda from Advaita Ashrama, Mayavati. Srimat Swami Smaranananda ji Maharaj had a great affection for Advaita Ashrama, Mayavati, both its external aspect, the Himalayas' grandeur, the stunning nature, the profound silence, and the internal aspect as well, Mayavati's spiritual presence. In these few lines, we will share a few personal incidents related to revered Maharaj when he visited Mayavati as Vice President in May 2011 and as President of the Ramakrishna Sangha in March 2018. During his 2011 visit, one day he came to the Associate Editor's office in the old Prabuddha Bharata building. It was a small closed veranda, and as soon as he entered the office, his face lit up. He mentioned that the veranda was closed by Swami Gambhirananda ji Maharaj just for him, as he thought that young Smaranananda, being a South Indian, might feel the cold more. In fact, he was able to work there only in the afternoons, when sunlight entered through a big window. Revered Maharaj would sit with his back to that window to type the articles for the magazine. I was typing in that old big typewriter in such a way that the whole veranda would vibrate, he expressed with mischievous eyes. He also told us that together with the editor, they would play competitions to see who was able to find more mistakes during proofreading. This healthy competition kept the quality of the magazine high, he added. Revered Maharaj also gave us advice on how to maintain a good relationship between the editor and the associate editor, which we implemented and found to be very effective. It was all about sharing some extracurricular activities, exploring nature together and walking together. In one word, it was about being amazed by Mayavati together. Though revered Maharaj served in Prabuddha Bharata for about 2 years before becoming the manager of Advaita Ashrama in Kolkata, he developed such a connection with the environment of Mayavati that it stayed with him for his entire life. During his visit, he would take walks in the garden and often ask the Swami in charge of it about various plants, as he was quite knowledgeable about many of them. There would be also an evening walk in which many would join him. Everyone was able to notice how free he used to feel in Mayavati, especially while walking. During those walks, he would mention the names of the different points of the road as of old days, which had changed over time. This was important for us to later identify those points while doing research in the Mayavati diaries. Seeing the monkeys on the road, he once narrated how tigers would hunt monkeys here. In those days, there were huge Bengal tigers in this area, We should stand under a tree and roar in such a way that the monkeys, out of fear, would paralyze and fall to the ground. We thought, what fear can do? Revered Maharaj would generally avoid the moral of his narrations, allowing the attentive listener's mind to grasp the moral by itself. Seated in the balcony of President Maharaj's room, he loved to listen to the sound of the cicadas and contemplate the view of the deodars contrasting with the snowy peaks of the Himalayas when the peaks were open. Once we were thus seated and only he and I were present. Suddenly he pointed towards the mountains and asked me, "Can you see our Thakur there?" "No, Maharaj, I can't," was my answer. Then he said, "I can clearly see his form there," and he tried to show it to me. Though I was not able to see it, his words made me remember what Sri Sarada Devi said. One who is our Guru, Sri Ramakrishna, he is Advaita. As I was doing the same job that Revered Maharaj did in Mayavati, with a fatherly concern, one day he asked me, "Are you walking daily?" Walking in such an environment is one of the best ways to relax the mind after a whole day of editing and doing intellectual work, especially in a place where there is no emotional outlet. He experienced that firsthand. So I replied, "Yes, Maharaj, here if one doesn't walk daily, one can go mad." He looked at me in the eyes and said, "That's true, that's true." And as far as I remember, he inquired whether others were walking daily too. After night reading, Revered Maharaj would tell about the internal life of Mayavati during his days, funny incidents as well as serious ones. He once mentioned that it was tough to reach the ashrama from the plains, as there were no roads or very bad ones. There was no electricity and the bathing place was to the side of the ashrama with water getting warm with firewood. They used to cultivate potatoes during summer to be the main item to consume during winter. Potato curry almost every day. By listening to his experiences narrated in a casual way, he infused us with the strength to somehow cope with our life here without complaint. There were also meaningful talks about Advaita Vedanta, which was one of his favorite subjects. During his last visit in 2018, Revered Maharaj gave initiation in the meditation hall of the guest house after several decades during which initiation had not been given in Mayavati. Many of our staff and local people received Revered Maharaj's blessings for 2 days. It makes a difference in the spiritual ambience of an ashrama when some or many of the staff are also initiated devotees. During that visit, Revered Maharaj was taken to the hospital below by palanquin, which was quite an adventure for him to inaugurate new eye surgery equipment. It was a sight to see him balancing in the palanquin, visibly uncomfortable but focused and in complete silence, conscious that he was doing a service for the good of others. On another day, he also inaugurated the restoration and conservation work of the main building of the ashrama. A few days prior to that, we had 2 meetings with him when the whole project was explained to him in detail. He listened attentively with a deep personal interest and even offered some helpful suggestions based on his knowledge of historical records and stories shared by senior sadhus. The day he left Mayavati, I submitted a summary of the whole project to him with an appendix detailing his suggestions. When I gave him the file, he asked me with the innocence of a little boy, "Do you think my suggestions will be implemented?" Maharaj, you are our president. Your word is final for us. He looked to one side, puzzled, totally unconcerned about being the president of the Sangha. And I was still more puzzled. As Swami Vivekananda said, if you really want to judge of the character of a man, look not at his great performances. Watch a man do his most common actions. Those are indeed the things which will tell you the real character of a great man. The most important of his suggestions to the project was that in the original plan, an exhibition hall was to be created in the front room below, where Swami Vivekananda stayed for 8 nights, and a meditation hall for the public at the back of it, as it was more silent at the back. Revered Maharaj, however, said that if we want to make a meditation hall, it should be where Swamiji stayed and where many other great sadhus have meditated. I have seen them meditating there, were his words. Accordingly, we made some modifications to the blueprint and swapped the meditation and exhibition halls. He also confirmed which was the room above where Swami Vivekananda stayed for 6 nights, which is now a meditation hall for sadhus. The departure time was a poignant moment. Many sadhus and devotees stood by the caravan that would take him to Pantnagar airport, which was at least a 6-hour journey away. Revered Maharaj smiled and waved his hands as the vehicle started moving slowly. Someone nearby noticed a tear falling towards his smile, which showed the depth of his emotions despite his usual composed demeanor. It was his last darshan of Mayavati, and for many of our staff, the last darshan of Srimat Swami Smaranananda ji Maharaj. The beautiful article ends here. I offer my humble respect at the lotus feet of Srimat Swami Smaranananda ji Maharaj, my Mantra Diksha Guru, and I also offer my deep respect to the author of this article, Swami Madhurananda ji of Advaita Ashrama, Mayavati.